Now for you.
So
So anytime you're not on set like this, it's almost like you don't want to see my colleague. It comes like say I go buy tickets to see you.
no. Sometimes when we travel out of Lagos to go and film outside, you be awake till 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. I don't walk like that.
Hey.
I don't walk like that, please.
So I should literally turn down.
So after when I'm done working, right, and I see your call, I'm always reluctant to pick it because I'm like, can I have 1 day or 2 days to myself with that? Because the next time I pick your call, it's always what's going on. They said
So in your mind now, you think that I enjoy working, but this is me doing the work that you have entrusted with me. And you are, okay, you know what? After we are done with this interview, I will cut down the way I take the work.
Nobody said you should cut down.
If they call me and they say they want to book Uzor or they need something from
Nobody
Uzor,
said you should cut down.
But that is what you're saying.
I'm just telling you my own woes. I'm telling you the problem that I'm having. Now I want to throw the question back to you. What are the challenges that you have working with me as your
challenges that I have working with you is that you have coconut head.
I know,
and
but
you
my mom
give
knows
me
that.
Your mom knows that,
Yeah.
and you literally give me God have mercy. You actually do stress me, but I try not to show it because sometimes you can be a very tough nut to crack. And in my head, I'm like, does Uzor realize that myself? I want the flex too. Not be say I enjoy this thing, but again, that's on one side. The second side is you've made me a celebrity by proxy, so I cannot live my normal life.
You've always been a celebrity. Don't put the blame on me.
No,
you've always been a celebrity.
No, I'm not. I've never been a celebrity. You've made me a celebrity by proxy. So if I now have to do certain things, I have to worry about the fact that how does this affect Uzor? If anything goes wrong with what I'm doing now, they will say because they want to have more clicks. They want to generate more news. Yeah,
that's what that talent is. Not just me.
Well, so again, what makes me in general? It's just a thing of so and so manager, Uzor Arukwe's manager, caught in the club, digging down. It can be the most random things ever. It will be nice.
It will be nice.
you know, we don't make it.
This your head. Don't hold her from back there.
I don't know if they carry this talk, but imagine the case of where my sex tape leaks.
Fam. No. God forbid.
God forbid.
Not my manager.
You see what I'm talking about now? If I was a random person,
I totally understand.
it would just be another news on the internet. But the fact that they will not say, Uzor Arukwe or Kelechi Udegbes or something like that is not caught in the act of.
It just scarred my mind. Like, I don't want to have that.
It's almost like I used to be a very low-key background guy, but now I'm no longer that person.
Yeah.
So now I'm a celebrity by proxy, and I have to now behave like a celebrity, and it's hard.
I understand.
It's hard. So again, since you've put me in this position where I have to be a celebrity by proxy, I might as well just call you anytime that I want because you have given me a work.
Yeah.
I need an information.
Yeah.
You have to show up.
My phone lines are always open. Call me. I need money.
You need money.
This government.
Oh yeah. So take back the one that you said at the first. That you said that I work too much. That I'm stressing.
No, but you work too much. Everybody knows. It's not just me. Ask everybody. Everybody knows that Mautin. His name is Mautin. We'll call him Mr. M. Mautin works too much. Yeah, facts.
So now that you've given me that job, do you think I've been able to deliver? Do you think I've been able to manage a relationship that I've been entrusted to me? Compare with the fact that I work.
Yeah. I mean, like, first off, I have to, so here's the thing. Like, you are a great manager. I think by the time we started... Loud it,
because I don't get the accolades a lot of time. Sometimes I'm always like, am I really delivering? So it's nice to hear it.
Can I go back to
No, you start with, I'm a great man. No, not I was. It's not past time. I am a great manager. Loud it.
So, you are a great manager. I remember when we started this relationship, especially, this is Guguru Studios, by the way, everybody. So, and when we started this relationship, I remember where my social media followership was at. In fact, I even didn't have presence on certain platforms until I started relating with you guys, got into the team, the Guguru Studio Talents team, and so it's been good. See me, I'm looking all fly, I'm looking all fresh and stuff, and so I would give him all his flowers, especially now that he's alive and now that
flowers.
Flowers. So he's a great manager. He's done his job. He does his job tremendously well. He's a pain in my behind as well. Sometimes he's a pain in my behind sometimes. But I mean, like,
be a pain in the behind of some other girls.
That escalated really quick. Can we keep it?
I'm just saying, for the record, I'd rather be a pain in the behind of some other girl. You know?
God damn it. Okay, so but he's a great manager. I think that some of our clients, some of the production houses that we've worked with, also would attest to that he's actually a really sound manager. I don't think that I've ever left Lagos without him coming with me. Sometimes he has to buy his ticket himself. Most times actually. So
I'm calling my money back, Sha.
And then so he's a great guy. I can go on and on, but I don't want it to make it just too much about him. But yeah, he's such a great guy.
So let's talk about your career trajectory from the point when you started. Yeah. There was a time that I put out a tweet that I said, what's the craziest thing that you've experienced during your early days of trying to make it into Nollywood? So I'd like to hear from your own hand, what's the craziest thing that has ever happened to you during the days of when you see you do Waka Pass and whatever.
So NYSC, right? I was supposed to do a stage play in Lagos, but NYSC now came. My name showed up on the list. I had to go to Niger State to go and do. It was in Paiko, of course. If you served in Niger State, you know that the orientation camp is in a place called Paiko. Paiko, yeah. You know. And then I was there, and I had to come. I had been rehearsing for this stage play before NYSC came, and then the director of the play was blowing up my phone because nobody else could take the lines, could deliver it as much as I could because I had been rehearsing. Bro, a day before the show, I had my fanny pack, just my fanny pack. Early morning, I don't link up with some guys for NYS. I jumped fence. Yeah.
You jump NYS?
Yes. I jumped the fence.
And none of the soldiers caught you?
They had already done some, me and some did Mami Market the previous day. So I just told them the truth. I told them that this is what I'm going to do. They just snuck me out, but there was a place I had to jump the fence. Because that place was, at the time when I was leaving, it wasn't open. So, yeah, I jumped the fence. I didn't travel, apart from my fanny pack. Took a bus from Mina straight to Lagos because of that play. Showed up for that play, yes. I did the play. I got in that day, went straight to rehearsal. Did the play that night because it was just one show, 2 shows that evening. Did the show. Next morning, I was back because I was parade commander. I was the overall, not platoon, like parade commander. So I had to get back into camp the next day because I had rehearsal, like parade, the rehearsals for parade. Yeah.
From that, I know there's another one that you put out on your Twitter as well, where you said you had to leave Highland to go to Festac, that you ended up using the last cash that you had on you. And by the time you spent the last cash on you to take a cab to the rehearsal, it was still the same amount that you imagine being paid 10K,
yes,
and then you're using that same 10K for
to get back. I mean, there are too many. Okay, so that was one. I used my money to go, and then I ended up not doing the thing. They now gave me thanks for coming, or the PM just said, okay, because you showed up, take this money. It was the money he gave me, I paid the guy. Another show, I was working.
There's another one that you told me, said the guy was saying, what rights do you have to go?
Oh, that was in First Stack. Yes, now I was in First Stack. I got to First Stack. We were filming in First Stack. I got to First Stack in the morning, and these guys were filming. It was 11 o'clock. I had moved to the island because of my job. I had a corporate job, a telco job at the time. So I had moved to the island. It was 11 o'clock, and I kept telling this guy, say, I did go work tomorrow. Shoot my sins, let me go. This guy wasn't answering me. Fam, the next thing, I just entered my car, drove out, and the guy, I told him I said I was going. He thought I was, he was like, who is this newbie telling me what to do? I entered my car, drove off, went home. Next day, the guy starts calling me and telling me that what right did I have to leave his set? I said, as you talk that TV, they talk, swear. No, just decast me, no worry yourself. Just hire somebody else because their level of irresponsibility and not communicating with me was just. There's another. I was working in a Tesla at the time in a Tesla anyway, and I had to take my location. I was doing Dear Mother. I was on the set of Dear Mother at the time. My location was in Ikorodu, not Ikorodu town, Ikorodu village. If anybody who knows Dear Mother knows that, yes. I've forgotten the name of that place. I took a bike from Palms because that time Tesla had a store. I was, one of the staff in Palms, a Tesla store in Palms. I took a bike from Palms to Ikorodu. I crossed Third Mainland on a bike. That was the first time in my life. Like from Palms to not is it Jai? There's one place inside Ikorodu. I took a bike there. Got there. It was supposed to be a wedding scene. They said they were not shooting the scene. I took the bike back. My car was parked because I knew that if I had driven, I won't get to Ikorodu that day. The food that they gave me as welfare, I gave it to the Okada man because the guy tried, he over-tried for me. Because he just stayed on one side of the road. He knew that it was my first time. Fam, no. It's been, there are endless stories, but yeah, what can we do now? It's passion. It's what we do for passion. What kind of things have you done for sake of your job or
Well, so really there's been quite a number of things, but the problem is I hardly focus on those things. The thing about me is once something happens in the past, I just literally
push it somewhere.
Yeah, push it somewhere. So when I now have to remember what exactly it is, it's hard. If anything is going to come to the top of my head, it'll probably be, maybe our first production where we didn't have much money and I had to take up the job of like 5 different departments, be the second DOP guy, still be the production manager, still be the welfare. There are much more stories than that, but I really do not like to dwell on
those I think you feel like it's a process, right?
Yeah, so once I move past that thing, it's almost gone. I do not really keep it stored in my memory to say these are the things that I've experienced or whatnot. I'm just always open on the next best thing. It's just like if I clock a milestone now, maybe I get a very big contract. The moment I'm done celebrating it, I'm literally just
moving on to the next.
On to the next. When you now ask me, I'll now start racking my head, like, okay, what are the things that I've done? Then it just becomes a very serious.
I could be like that sometimes too. But so, I remember.
Except you ask me, maybe what's the most embarrassing thing that has happened to me right from my childhood. I know there's one memory that has stuck with me. That one is even worse. So, growing up here in secondary school, so I used to be very, very computer savvy. So anything that has to do with computer, I totally enjoy being a part of it. So at this time, we were on holiday. So my neighbor, that's the guy next in the next building, now told me, we'll go browse for cafe. And that time, internet is the data and everything is not everywhere like this. Yeah. So we only had cafes where you pay, you buy tickets, and then they'll give you
the passcode.
The passcode. You spend like an hour. Yeah. So the guy said, we'll go browse. And I'm like, since I could get free time. And during that time, what I always online? Send email to Bow Wow.
iMessage.
Yeah, send email to Bow Wow and the likes. Yeah. So I was just like, as long as this guy works for like 45 minutes, maybe he's browsing for like 45 minutes, but I have 15 minutes extra, I can use it to do whatever
you want to do
online. That's how I followed him. We shall start at the cafe. This guy has been browsing for more than an hour, right? I did not realize that he has hacked the time. So there is this thing that they do at that time. They always hack time. So they will hack the time. So instead of it to be 1 hour here, the time will continue reading. And during that time, they used to have a central monitor that monitors every system and the ticket that they sell. So from the administrator at that cafe could see that this guy bought 1 hour and this is like 2 hours. So the guy just came to check our system. My guy that sat beside me already knew what he did. Yeah. So immediately he saw that the guy came to check and went back to his seat. He just said, sit down, the browser. And he just left me there. I saw a woof time. I just started browsing. Meanwhile, the person that owns the cafe is a retired Major General. So now this is the icing on the cake. The area where that cafe is like 30 minutes walk from where I stay. Hey. 1. 2, the clothes I wore on that day, because there is this girl that stays around that area that happens to be like one of those girls that I was crushing at the time. So I literally wore the best clothes in my wardrobe that day. Like, should in case I run into this girl, she can see me full of swag and all of that. And during that time I used to sing. So I was just like, let me see. So that's why I would always send email to Bow and like, that's how the man came out though. He now went to meet the cafe administrator. I was like, so which system is hacking time? He just pointed to me. And he was like, that's how you do the 2 hand. Just get up. I just stood up. He had a guard room at the back of the cafe. They locked me there, stripped me naked. See, the kind slap when give me, not less than 4. My ears were ringing for days. After he was done stripping me naked, like delivered 4 hot slaps. Then he was thinking of what to do, but he was like, I already stripped you naked. There's nothing to do again. He just pushed me out of the cafe, naked like that, on the street.
Your cloth, the bath of Unko.
Everything was gone. I can remember the name of it.
He seized everything.
Everything. He did not return it to. He just pushed me out of the street. I was naked. I was standing, and there's a mechanic workshop beside the cafe. It was just one that they saw me. They were like, what happened? Meanwhile, my guy was at the end of the street. He saw as they pushed me out. He now ran into his friend's house to go and get clothes. But before he came out, the mechanic that was next, they already giving me something to wear. On my way home with mechanic clothes and everything, I saw the babe that I literally. You know, that's why I feel crazy.
No.
That
you saw.
I said this memory is that if there's one thing that I've never forgotten while growing up, it is that one memory. If I pass that street like this, I still look at that. I was like, this cafe used to be here. Now here they push me, come out naked. See, I woof. When they say I woof, they run belly. That was clear example of I woof, they run belly.
That's crazy.
So that has been the experience, really.
Okay.
So let's look at where you are now with your career.
Yeah.
So arguably, not unarguably, basically, if you have to call top 10 actors in Nigeria, right? You are at that position. What's the most challenging thing for you being on that list as a top 10 actor?
I'm going to be honest. I would say getting there first was tough. You know, it's been such a journey. You know, because at some point I was wondering if I was in the right, if I was doing this thing correctly. You know, getting there first of all has been, you know, it was tough. But now that you say that I'm there,
that's you trying to be honest. I mean, we know what it is.
Now that you say that
we know what it is.
I think it's a very steep industry. It's a very competitive industry. I have worked with some of the finest actors, talents that I could ever have hoped for. Because one thing with film is it's a collaborative sport. You spar with different sorts of people.
Yeah.
And I would say having to spar with these guys on set, either on set or on stage, you know, it's I think it for me it's a very beautiful thing. It's something that I live for. It's something that I love. I don't know that it is challenging because I feel like the more that I get better at what I do because I'm sparring with these guys, I most probably would still be there or I will surpass it. But I know I wouldn't be coming down anytime soon. Do you understand? I don't think that I would, because I'm working my acting muscles, I would either keep, you know, because I don't know what challenges. I mean, of course, there's always the downside to every industry. You know what I mean? Like there's always the backbiting, the betrayals, the disloyalty, the envy and jealousy and all of those things that happens even when I was in telecoms, it was the same thing. It happens everywhere in the world. As long as there are human beings there, it will definitely happen. But for me, I just take the good part of it. The fact that I can get to work with these guys, I can spar with them, I can rehearse with them, I can see them, you know, sometimes even have drinks with these people. I think for me, and then we get to make great films, at least at this level, you know, tell stories that we are proud of. Some of them we are not so proud of, but at least get to work together, I think for me that's...
So I'm going to look at it from the fact that as a talent manager and a film executive as well too, I have certain things that I see as challenges for me that falls back on you being an actor. Yeah. Because one of it is the fact that because there is always a side-to-side comparison about actors in Nigeria and the delivery on sets, their delivery in films and actors in Hollywood. And I always say one thing. I say that the higher the eyeballs in terms of if you're rated as top 10 in Nigeria, the more people look out for your performances in film. And the thing with that is, the reward is not as great as our fellow Hollywood actors. Do you understand? Yeah. And because the reward is not so great, and you've made it to that point where you are like top 10, you now have to keep up appearances in terms of, I'm a celebrity now, I'm on top 10, so I cannot be seen doing certain things because they expect my net worth to be they expect my net worth to be, they will probably expect your net worth to be on hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And in order to be able to meet up with that such standard that you've not created for yourself, we now have to make sure that you're working back to back. And it doesn't even give room for preparation at all. So I always say that when you see an A-list actor in Nollywood deliver on set, you should extend grace to them because they have been put on a pedestal that they did not create for themselves. And in order to maintain status quo, they now have to work back to back because everybody now knows that this is a market, this is a face that can sell my market. Yeah. So literally people are coming to say, we want Uzor on this project, we want Uzor on that project. And there isn't so much time in between to be able to relax and get into, I mean, acting is not just click, click, bam.
No, it's not.
An entire character, you cosplaying another person.
Yeah.
So if you want to make side-to-side comparison with a Nollywood actor and an Hollywood actor, you also have to think of the climate in which both operate because
100%.
they can do their A-list actors can literally do 2 projects in a year and
they're
be
good.
fine.
They are good.
And they have enough time to be able to
rest with family, with friends,
to prepare and all of that. But in Nollywood, no, as an actor, you know because there's a certain perception about your brand now that you are here.
Yeah.
And the reward from one project cannot literally take you through a whole month,
100%.
let alone a whole year. You now have to be on
2 weeks.
Yeah, you now have to be on projects back.
Yeah.
And sometimes I want to call you to say Uzor, so we have on this, and in my head I'm like, Uzor has not even rested at all. This is stressful, and I am always reluctant. But then again, I understand that we've gotten to a stage whereby our work has to be on another level.
Yes.
We have a particular goal in mind.
Yeah.
We've been able to get to the first step of the ladder that we are aiming for. Yeah. So there's so much more ahead. So as much as it might seem like the work is coming and it's stressful, sometimes it's just about the fact that we have to show up. Because even if you're an A-list actor and you're not showing up anymore, it's easy to be forgotten because you literally be replaced before you know it. Another person just shows up and all of that. So now you have to be in there. So for me, that's more like a challenge because maintaining the status quo and at the same time having to worry about the fact that you're on a set back to back and you still have to
deliver.
Without having enough time to prepare.
Perform,
and then somehow you always find a way to...
I would have said it better.
Yeah, somehow you find a way to still kill it. So that's something that I always respect about you, that as much as Uzor...
I could be angry right now.
He would be angry. And in my head, I'm like...
But I have to get into character because that's my work. That's the only thing that puts food on my table. And then I'm such an artist that I love this work. I love this work.
When I want to call you, it can be really tough because I know that you're just coming from a set of maybe like 14 days or 21 days, and then you just have 1 day rest, and I'm already calling you to some morning. I can feel the grumpiness in your voice, and you're like, if I did in front of Uzor, they'd be like, say, Uzor, break my leg. Why did they call me for 9 a.m. when these people never reached it? I just like, can you be punctual at least? So that if there's one thing they're going to say, you can always stand on your feet and say that I am always punctual to set.
I wouldn't pride myself as someone who's always punctual, and I mean my friends and colleagues can attest.
But you've changed somehow.
But I have, thanks to him.
Because I remember DJ telling me that Uzor doesn't come to set earlier, and I said, don't worry, he's under me now. He would do that.
Like even this last set that I was on, I reluctantly, I knew they were not going to be there. And when you told me, you said, remember you said, you just sent me the text and said, show up by 8 o'clock. Yeah,
sometimes I want to call, but I'm just like, let's Uzor wake up to this thing, because if I follow you, but the thing is, I have to commend you, because one way or the other, you still manage to get into character. And I know normally you are supposed to have days to prepare, but you do not even have days to prepare. You don't even get enough rest, but somehow you manage to get into character and still deliver. How do you try to balance that with all my wala in between?
To be honest, I honestly don't know. I think the only thing that I can say is that I really, really love the job. I really love this job. I've loved it for a long time. We've had such a great relationship. I mean, myself and the arts. So it's easier for me to try to call it out, to try to say, okay, I need this person to show up, I need this character to show up, I need this to show up. No matter how tired I am, I will still try. And then again, I realize that it's my name that's going to be on the credits. As an artist, we always have to, I always say to people that I always try to sign off on every work that I do. No matter how inconsequential the character is, or insignificant the character is, I always just try to leave a mark. So I always try to sign off on every work that I have done. I remember one time I was on set with someone, one of my colleagues, and I could call her a friend as well. and she was like, is this it? Is this all there is? You know, and I'm like, the character. If the character doesn't, I work in favor of the story.
Okay.
I'm not trying to outshine or outact anybody.
And
If the story, but that's the thing. I'm serving the story. So if the story says that my character is flaccid, or he is almost, he's
a dummy.
I would not try to overact it to make him
broke and proud.
Shine. No, I'm not going to do that.
Like, bro, you are broke and proud.
I'm not going to try to do more because I'm serving the story. So because I know that I'm working or sparring with you, if it's your scene, it's your scene. I'm not going to try to outact you or outshine you in your scene.
It's not a competition.
It's never been.
Delivering your...
serving the story. That's it. Let's say the character's name is, like the last one I did was Wisdom.
Yeah, Wisdom.
Chukwuemeka Okafor. And before the first action goes off, before the director called the first action, I just say Wisdom Okafor. Wisdom Chukwuemeka Okafor. Wisdom. I just say like 3 times, so that what I'm doing is announcing this person to myself, so that Uzor is pushed behind, and then I just keep saying it. I keep saying it, and I say, okay, I just keep talking to myself. I make some funny sounds that people, I'm just, and all of those things.
When I was standing in front of the the other day, I was, because of the sounds.
And those things that they're not theatrics or anything. It's just trying to find my center, just trying to shut down or shut out every other thing and just find my center. And when I do that, I just know that it's easy breezy from there. That's it.
So, our first, meeting was on Tower Savage.
Yeah.
Where you played Jola.
Yeah.
And right after then, we started talent management, and the opportunity presented itself. And then when Geshin mentioned that we should take on Uzor, and I'm like, can we really take on Uzor? Yeah. I've seen a couple of your jobs. Yeah. After Tower Savage, I worked on a marketing campaign for Vanity that I called you again to come on set during the marketing campaign to deliver some sort of marketing for Vanity as well too. Yeah. And in mind, I'm like, do we really want to do this? Do we really have the capacity to do this? And I'm like, is this going to be such a great task that I can't deliver on? So I questioned myself because I knew that for a fact that at the present stage where you were at that time, you had been able to achieve some level of for yourself. Yeah. Then it will now require me taking it from that level to another level. Yeah. So in my head, I'm like, is this something I can really deliver on? As much as I know that I can be very thorough with my work, can I really do this for this person? Because I don't want you feeling like, okay, why the hell did I do this? Okay. And then I remember after that, 2 months into our relationship, that was when we went for the Abuja gig. That's the Play Network. And I asked you, and I'm like, who's always say, I should have done this a long time ago. Now we've had a whole year. Yeah. And we're going to the second year. I'd like to know, what has been the milestone for you that has been the highlights of you having a talent manager, like having me manage you? What has been the highlights of your career so far?
First off, it's been one milestone to another, since we started, because remember the Play Network thing was amazing, because
that was December.
Yeah, it happened, and I was like, wow. How to this guy that been on our radar, they've been on my radar for a bit. There was that. There's been series of cinema films, blockbusters. I think for me, right now as we speak, it was being on the film called A Tribe Called Judah, and then the same vein, we also did Malaika. These were 2 heavyweights films that happened. That both of them were in the cinema at almost the same time, during Christmas period. And for me, at the time, it was a big deal. It was a heavy thing because this is before the box office numbers.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was thinking about it. Immediately after, I think first week in January this year, and I was thanking God, and I was like, how did I work with Funke Akindele, the great Funke Akindele, and the great Tony Abraham at the same time? In my life, these are heavyweights, I never thought that these people even knew me. I never thought that they knew the kind of work that I would be doing. But somehow, as God will have it, A Tribe Called Judah happened to do a lot of numbers. It was a very successful film, one that I'm very proud of. And then Malaika did his own run, and it was a great film. I actually think I know that Malaika is a great film, and I would want for people to even see it. Hopefully when it gets on streaming platforms, people get to enjoy it. But it's such a great film, and being part of those two films was such a big milestone for me. Yeah.
Okay.
What did you feel the same way? Did you? So since you started being my manager, what would you have said? What milestone would you think you have achieved or know that you've achieved? Apart from Mami Wata, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, my manager is one of the EPs for Mami Wata anyway, but yes.
So, you mentioned A Tribe Called Judah and you mentioned Malaika. Those were two big, because I was very strategic about what I wanted to do to be able to get you on those projects.
Yeah.
It was much more about, so the thing I always say is, as long as I have materials, tools to work with, I can harness the social media presence.
Mm-hmm.
Once you can harness the social media presence to increase visibility and to be strategic about what you're trying to get at that point, there are certain needs that you have to fulfill at the time. And if you remember, you didn't know that I was working in that favor that time.
Yeah.
It was during that time that I said, Uzor, let's be recording that Odogu character that I always come on set to come and give you phone to record and say, right on set, I'll quickly come up with an idea and say, call this Ekutos.
Yeah.
It was for the purpose of
100%.
For that purpose, like, let's try and position you in this place because I know there is a need for this character at this point. And one thing I always play to is understanding the strength of the people that I manage. And one thing I always play to when it comes to your strength is understanding the fact that you can be a very great actor in delivering serious roles, and in the same breath, you can switch to a comical role and you would kill both. So I try to balance it by trying to book you on serious roles and at the same time still give the comical performances because again, you're a minister of happiness, and one way or the other, I have to make your fans enjoy you on screen. So in one breath, they are hating you for being a villain, and before they can curse you, they see another film and they're just laughing about it. So I try to balance it on your page. Like I remember putting out, what's it called? That's your nonsense character for Broke and Proud, and in my head I'm just like, who's on a mad person? Because waiting with this, when you were spinning towel and you were rolling around saying, see man now, check man now. With that stupid yellow socks that you wore. And in my head I'm like, no, this guy is just literally, like, sometimes I watch your performance and I'm like, this is not something we was mirror in real life, because sometimes you can be very unserious. But then we've had such a long run. What are the boxes that are yet to be ticked? I know you would say, oh, we are yet to get that Hollywood. So again, another milestone besides A Tribe Called Judah and what's it called, and Funke, is the one that is yet to be released, which is with what's it called, the Ugandan director.
Streets.
That's another great milestone for me because I've always wanted you to work with another director out of Nollywood that I can see your performance and be able to vouch for you when conversations are being had in another country about actors that can deliver from Nigeria. It's such a great way to be able to position you for more gigs out of Africa. And I have certain boxes that I have not ticked yet that I want to, right? But for you, what would be that thing that you still, like at this point of your career, these are the things that are yet to be ticked?
I don't want to be too philosophical about this to this answer. Far more money. I feel like you know how it is, with musicians and maybe skit makers and comedians, people who have broken through and they are respectful crafts, So for musicians that make a lot of money, we all know that. Skit makers are making a lot of money now, mostly because of YouTube and Facebook and all of those things that they do. Comedians, also stand-up comedians, started making money because of stand-up, the events, all those comedy shows that they had, But I've always been waiting and hoping and believing God that at some point actors will begin to get paid, because at some point, even talking about plenty money to producers was almost like you were overreaching. You're
overreaching, like you were asking for too much. Meanwhile, you're just asking for the barest minimum.
Somebody actually said to me on the phone that she doesn't know why producers are spoiling actors by paying them. And at this time, we were talking about hundreds of thousands, maybe 300, 400, 500. And then she said that she doesn't understand why producers were spoiling actors. This was just before Netflix now became a thing, and Prime, and then the cinema people started, so we started hearing, 1 million, 2 million, 1.5, 3 million. Then we started hearing 25 million, stuff like that. That was when we now started believing that, okay, this is actually a source of livelihood, right? So for me, I would say more money, more recognition, Hollywood, more collaborations, international collaborations, being in films abroad, getting to spar more with international actors, even sparring with some actors here who I've not been able to work with, and just keep climbing. That's what, for me, that's pretty much it.
Okay. So what's the downside of having a talent manager?
Downside of having a talent manager is that he will be a pain in your behind. I like to take my time sometimes. Like if I wrap from set by 4 a.m. and I have to be on call by 8 a.m., my manager would try to make sure that he would try to buy me some time, as much as he can. But the new client doesn't know that you work till 4 a.m. He doesn't even care that you work till 4 a.m., to be fair. So my manager would make sure that I get there on time. It's such a drag. It's, sometimes I'm grumpy, I'm angry at him, I'm shouting, why do I have to show up? And then the thing is that, discipline and consistency is very hard, because sometimes you actually get on set and these guys are not there. I mean, the people that you're working with. But being, having a good name is expensive. You can't just, I show up there and sometimes they're not even there. I have to wait in my car or, wait until they show up. But they know that, Uzor will come early. Now, it's not just me, it's him, because he's the one that will be blowing up my phone, asking me, where are you? And I'm like, Baba, now your film, which one you did?
It's almost like I'm against you. But again, the thing is, I like to, if at all I'm going to ask for more money or I want to drag about certain things, I like to know that I've been able to hold up my own end of the bargain. And again, I've come to realize that most of the time they always say that when actors get to a certain stage in their career, they now become very difficult to work with, and they sort of see themselves like that god. But I do not want that for my people. I always try as much as possible to humanize them, because you just see them on screen as celebrities. In real life, they're still humans that you can relate with, connect with, amongst other things. So even when we're going out, if someone says, "So is that Uzor?" the next thing I always tell them is, "Do you want to take a picture with him?" And if they say yes, I always call him back and say, "Uzor, see, your people there," because again, really, the fans makes the celebrity. If you cannot be a celebrity without a fan, because if there are no people out there rooting for you, you're just like every other normal human being. So how then do you not want to disrespect these same people that make you a celebrity? So somehow, I have to show up and hold your side in terms of when you're not there. I have to make sure that you're well represented in wherever I go, wherever I find myself. So it's always very important to me that if producer is saying, "No, you people call this money, I pay it, it's now time for you to show up, you don't show up," I like to know that we've been able to hold up the end of our bargain. So if you now decide to mess up, I can now capitalize on that and say, okay, we don't do our own part, we're going to do our own part. And it's just easy. I know it can be very hard because
it's hard. It's hard sometimes.
So let me now tell you, the worst part about it is most of the time that I have to wake you up early, I don't sleep myself, because I'll be like, if I sleep off, Uzor would definitely sleep off, because I am like your alarm clock at that time. So I now have to keep myself up in order to get you up and running as well too. So when the moment I just see that it's almost time and I say, I don't go call Uzor. If I call Uzor and that, let me just send the message, so that even if he's going to shout, he's going to be shouting at the text message that he's reading, and he's not shouting.
I don't shout a lot. You make me look like I shout a lot. I don't shout a lot. I'm a very chill guy.
That's the way that you always say that. I can always feel the frustration in your voice. For them, you know these people, they're not going to be there. They're not going to be there. Why then did they make me come?
Like, fam.
I just don't worry, you just can't.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, it's been a very long journey.
It's been, and I mean, it's a journey that,
recently I was thinking of if we've had any major disagreements ever since we started in our whole 1 year of our relationship, and I remember the only one that we had was that one that
in the battle.
You won't break bread, say, wow. But you know this thing yourself, that why you they talk to me like small picking, like say I know they okay, I did with this. You want to come carry the car? Make I carry the car, put for my head.
I was driving. I was coming from Lagos.
For the first time, I knew that I had gotten.
Mautin was calling me every 5 minutes. He was, "Where are you? When I don't reach?" I'm like,
So let me tell you what Uzor did do. So Uzor literally knew that he was going to get to that particular. So he doesn't do that. But on this particular day, it was unavoidable because he had certain things he had to attend to early in the morning before traveling. He now used me as a placeholder to go and stand for him on the set so that when they see the manager, they will say, Uzor is somewhere around. Meanwhile, he's not there. So as they were putting fire under my bum, I was literally... that was the only one.
That's what they say. You're well represented. When they say you're well represented, is that not what they say? Well represented.
But on that particular day, what normally you would tell me, this is my itinerary, but you are not even giving me your correct itinerary that day. So I needed to, when you give me your correct itinerary, I can literally know how I want to buy.
To be honest, I was sleeping in the car because I was really tired.
Bro, do you know one thing you've turned me into now? You've turned me into a professional liar. All thanks to you for that. Because when I'm trying to buy time for you, I now have to oil my mouth and lie very well. Well, I mean, this is
comes with the job, is it not?
But sometimes
you can say the truth, Charles. It's our money that they will.
Yeah, it's white lies. It's white lies.
Yes,
white lies. He has to be told.
Yes,
it's occupational hazard.
Okay, so what are your own milestones that you have achieved as a player in the Nigerian film industry, and then as a talent manager? But I think you already kind of touched, you being a talent manager, what you've achieved with me, and But as a player, as a practitioner in the Nigerian film industry, what are the milestones that you have achieved?
I dream big, you. So I would say a milestone would probably be being on one of the biggest projects to come out of Nollywood, which is Mami Wata, which I happen to be one of the executive producers. But that's just on the side, really, right? I mean, there's been other milestones. Like I always say, the reward for great work is more work. So when I talk about milestones now, right, it might not be something that is big to people, but for me, when I hear someone refer someone to me to say, oh, I think you can manage this person, and I first of all ask them, why do you think I can manage this person? Like this? Because you're a great manager. I've seen what you've done with Uzor. And I'm like, oh no, they see him. Me, I know they see anything new. I just know that I'm working. I have certain plans that I always put in place and how I want to make this thing happen. But we can see, and we think that you will do a fantastic job with this person. So, and in my head, it's like a milestone to me because
it is a milestone. Yeah.
I have someone referring me to manage another big talent because they've seen certain things that I've done with Uzor as well too.
Yeah.
I see that as a milestone. And also another thing is, wherever industry I find myself, I like to impact knowledge on people. So another milestone that I'm about to clock is the Guguru Exams program, which we're doing, which is much more about spotlighting new writers in the industry so we can be able to tell more diverse stories. And I believe if I'm able to create a platform where more writers can shine, because if the foundation is not solid, the building will definitely not last.
Yeah.
So, and the foundation of Nollywood storytelling starts with the writers. So if you can have more diverse writers to get a platform for them to shine and be able to get their stories told, I believe we have more diverse storytelling in Nollywood, and 100%. Everybody gets to shine and everybody can take a break from playing almost the same characters and be able to have diverse characters, whereby you can say, oh, I've been in an horror film, I've been in a psychological thriller, I've been in a rom-com, I've been in, more like...
sci-fi,
whatever it is. So we have a lot of diverse stories to tell. Yeah. So that's just about another milestone that I'm about to clock. Being able to create platform.
I mean, like, I'm sure he's not encapsulating it in a way, but it's such a big deal.
Being able to create a platform for writers to shine, to be able to build the foundation of our storytelling and give them a platform to shine. So
like an exhibition for writers. You know what I mean? It's an exhibition for writers.
And it's the fact that it's very collaborative, because I believe that collaboration is very big and the growth of the industry relies heavily on collaboration. And being able to have such platform whereby it gives the writer a chance to collaborate with another actor, the producers, cinematographers, everybody can literally show off their work just by shooting excerpts from a full feature-length script that is yet to be produced. I believe that's going to be a great milestone when I can achieve my aim for that. So just thought about it. Other than that, what else? I mean, signing on new actors. We started with 2.
A lot of great powerhouse.
Yeah, we started with 2. Now we have about 9 talents that we manage. That's another milestone to...
Such a big deal, man. Like, don't say it like this.
Well, I do not know how to blow my own.
No.
And that's why I was telling you, blow that one.
It's such a big deal. Like, because, first off, I've seen what you've done with the 2 talents that you have. Myself and Kelechi Udegbe. I think Kelechi first off, then I came later on. I came on later on. And I have seen how our careers have shown. It's been great. And then now that I've seen all these new people, and then most of the actors that he's taking on are actors who are pretty much new. You could call them newbies, and I mean they're my colleagues. They're my I don't want to call teammates.
So
like a family member.
family members, you know, family
Yeah.
members. So I don't want no disrespect, but I'm just saying, pretty much you can call them newbies, and then it's such a risk to take such people on. But he has decided to do it, and I think it's such a major thing. Yeah, I think it's such a big deal. Yeah. I mean, like, sure. What am I working on? I am working on several. He knows better what I'm working on than I even do. The streets. We're not done with the streets.
Yeah.
We still have the streets is a crime series that we're working on. There's a film by Tosigo, also called Suspicion. Suspicion is going to be out sometime this year by grace of God. The criminal Anthill production is also, it's in the works. We're not done with that as well. A lot of other things, Full Circle by Writers Inc. It's just a lot. I just keep pushing.
And there's a lot of unreleased projects, and I mean we have personal projects too. I mean,
projects,
I've always maintained this thing like with the people that I manage, I see them as a family, and I always like to mirror what happens in the music industry because I believe it's a form of art.
Yeah.
Acting is another form of art as well too. So if we can have a record label having an all-star album, I believe that a talent management firm too can actually have, this is all the people under our roof. We can call it an all-star movie.
Yeah.
But just
100%.
to have everybody under the umbrella in a movie and then do something really, really big. So that's part of the plan too. Is in the work. I mean, we have a couple of things that we're trying to achieve with that, which are currently in the work. But by the time we have it out there, everybody gets to know about it.
And one thing you need to understand about Guguru is, I think one thing about Guguru Studio that I like as a practitioner is the fact that they are very keen about performance. It's not just a fine face.
No.
It's not just about speaking good grammar or your constructions being good. It's about performance. It's always been and it always will be. And I like it because the reason why I'm drawn to this particular style of performance or art is because of the quality of performance that I want to bring, the quality of performance that I want to experience, want to share with people. I don't know anybody that is on this, that's part of this family that I cannot vouch for when it comes to performance. And I'm saying that to you.
Well, I mean, our slogan is performance driven. So most of the time, I like to know that if I have to worry about anything about the talents that I manage, right?
Yeah.
I don't want their performance to be one of the things to worry about.
Yeah.
I want it to be totally out of my worries. Let my worry be about how to take that career from point A to point Z. Let my career be about increasing their ROIs, their revenue, amongst other things. But performance should not be the things that I worry about. I want to have 99 problems about them, and performance shouldn't be one of those things. So really, it's just that. And that's why it's performance driven for me.
100%.
Basically, to be able to close this entire thing, I would like to ask you this question, right? If you were not an actor, what other things do you think you'll be doing to survive? No, let's not think of what's that. Waiting that guy they do for broke and proud.
Get my hand up. So to be honest, Uzor Arukwe, I'm an artist through and through. Like that's why anybody who knows me from my teenage years till now just knows that I've been sleeping, dreaming, eating arts, performing arts mostly. But I would literally do anything to survive. I'm not anything, but I would. I did corporate. I have 3 degrees. I have 2 degrees. One BSc in economics, one bachelor's in education in economics, and a master's in business administration. I worked 10 years of my life in corporate. So, I mean, like, if I have to go back to corporate, I know, of course, the thing with corporate is that you have to get back into it, and then, you need references, get back into it, dust your CV, all of those things. But I wouldn't mind maybe heading a media house, a production house, something that has to do with media, something that has to do with film, because I have organizational skills, administrative skills, But literally, I think I want to keep doing this for as much as I can, but not necessarily be in front of the camera.
Okay.
I most probably will fall behind, maybe produce, direct, lecture at some point in my life about film. I'm already working. I have some plans, but lecture.
And what's that fondest memory that you hold of us, me and you?
I think it was in London. I think when we were in London. Mostly. Like, I think the most... We got closer in London. I feel like our trip to London... Because you came to the airport to get me.
Yeah.
And then you took me to Acting's house. You know. And literally, you babysat me all the time. Like, every time that we were... Like, you would literally bring this to me, bring that... And you were coming from... He was coming from Manchester. I was in Lewisham. You know, it's far.
I think that's the funniest one because I remember that club scene.
I wasn't going to go.
So one thing people
There's
don't
a
know
radio
about,
interview
one thing
in
people don't know about Uzor is, as much as he's an actor, right? When he's not acting, this guy doesn't want to be out there. If he wants to be out there, he doesn't want to be acting while he's out there.
I just want to enjoy myself.
It's a thing of acting on screen, and then when you're off screen and you're enjoying, you don't want cameras around you when you're enjoying.
No.
So being hosted and all of those things, it's just like, I'm going to be performing.
It's like his walk.
No, I just want to be ill, man. So it was such a... He came to London. He was just taking a break from work. But me, in my manager's space, I am thinking of while you're in London, we go still find work here. Let's find a way to kind of like position you here so we can open more opportunities. And with that came the club hosting amongst it, and then it's not even the club one that when we wanted to go for that radio interview, how I literally had to drag.
I wasn't going to go.
Talking about the radio interview, so there was one thing you said during the radio interview that I remember. You said the first breakfast that you got served was from a lady. She left you for another lady.
Yeah.
So I want you to explain better how that happened.
No, I mean, like, it was what it was. You know, like, I thought I was dating, or maybe, we were dating, right? And then she fell in love with another woman. So I could see what the girl was doing to her. And then she was telling me, oh, you just see what this baby do? You know, like, baby, are you seeing what this girl is doing? And I'm like, yeah, you know. Then my girl goes to the loo, goes to the washroom. The girl follow my baby. They go to the washroom together. So my girl comes out and she rushes back. And she's like, oh my God, this girl tries to kiss me in the bathroom. And I'm like, did you kiss her back? She was like, no. I'm like, okay. So what is it? But she was excited. I could tell that it was a new experience for her. It was fresh, you know. And then the girl came back. The girl was confident. And she's feminine. She wasn't even a stud. She was a woman. But she had done this too many times that she knew that girl was going to fall for her. Because she came back and she looked at me dead in the eye and she was like, hi, what's up? Can I get a drink? You know, she was not very confident. I looked the babe like this. No big guy, baby. She wasn't a guy, so I wasn't going to accost her and tell her, what are you doing with my girl? Because I just thought it was nonsense. Like, this is going to die, dead on arrival. 2 weeks down the line, I was seeing two of them talking more and more on the phone, giggling, everything. Fam. The next thing I heard was that, I'm going to spend the holiday with this girl. I'm like, you're going to spend the weekend with this girl? I'm like, you're going to spend the weekend. What about me? She was like, oh, now that she's been with me since now that she just wants to go and spend a harmless holiday with this girl. That's not a big deal. I'm like, fam, that was it. After that holiday, next thing I started seeing. I started seeing the way I screamed, the way you did this, the way you did that. You finished me. I was like, oh, fam. That was it. So we just started having a lot of arguments about it.
Well, how did that make you feel? Seeing that
I felt very inferior. If it was a guy, we feel throw blow. Yeah, I mean, you know what it means. Like, if it was a guy, I would hardly fight for a woman unless it's worth it. But I mean, if it was a guy, can I call myself, that's my girl? What are you doing with my girl? I couldn't. So what am I going to tell her? Leave my woman alone. I'm going to tell the girl to leave my chicken. I didn't even know how to go about it. I'm like,
what's to go?
See, let me tell you, for the longest time, I couldn't talk to girls because if I saw a girl with a girl, I don't assume Cindy the dates. I just didn't like them. I just was weary of them because the hit home. It hit my core.
It's all good.
It's all good. I took one for the team. So
what?
I took one for the team.
May never apply to me. You are taking for us.
Hey, guys.
Anyway, I mean, this has been a fun chat.
Yeah, it has been.
So, what was it like for you growing up and deciding to be an actor? I mean, what was the reception like?
It was hard. It was hard because my parents didn't want it. You know what I mean? My father is an engineer. My mom is a teacher. My father up to now doesn't know what I do. My mom knows. Yeah, my father doesn't agree.
I know you've said that a couple of times, but
He doesn't
Are
know
you
be-
sure he still doesn't know? Because
I'm sure
with your
he's
current
heard.
status, with the way you've been
I'm sure
everywhere.
he's heard. I'm sure he's heard, but he doesn't. And then he's sick. You know, I love my dad, but he's just sick, so he doesn't really get to watch TV as much. You know, so
Okay.
yeah, that's. But I mean, it was tough. So from primary school, I'd always been an artist. I used to dance. I started off as a dancer. And so from primary school, my parents used to call me Okoso because, like, an Okoso in Igbo language means someone who can dance, you know. And then I would always dance. Anytime I hear music, I just dance. Secondary school, I started singing because at the time, I remember that was when the Nigerian music scene started evolving. So plantation boys used to rehearse in my backyard.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I grew up in a block of flats. So Innocent, Blackface, and Chibuzo, would be there. You know, I hear them. I used to hear them rehearse behind me. There were the likes of, I can't remember them, Hot Ice, Hazardos, all those guys. All of them. So I just took on music. It was one of my friends. Jude used to sing as well. You know, and there was this guy, Fred from Festac. All of us were in the choir. You know, so music just became a thing. You know, and then I started singing. I was in a boy band that Gideon Okeke was part of in secondary school. There's a guy who is also quite popular in his own right, John Owame. He used to be in interior decorating, now he's in tech. John Owame, he's a basketballer, done well, him and his younger brother. So we were all in the same music group. Chi's younger brother, Chi that sings, the gospel artist.
Oh, okay.
Chi, SMD, yes, I think that was his name, SMD, Okebalama. Chi's son is Okebalama as well. So yeah, so all of us were in the same boy band, boy group and all of that. So from music to dance to acting. So I started acting from secondary school, from stage. So what used to happen was graduates from theatre arts department used to come and teach us acting in I went to a naval secondary school, Navy secondary school, Port Harcourt. And they would come and teach us on stage performances, all of that, you know, all the works, dancing, music, all of the works, you know. And so that was when I took on a liking to performance. They would come, they would train us. It wasn't just, but they were not training us like it was a hobby. They were training us like we had a competition. So we were being trained to become theatre professionals. That's why I started doing theatre stage plays from way back. You know, like it was stage first before film. And so all of that happened throughout secondary school. I got into university. I had already caught the fire. They said I should read book in economics. I kept acting and dancing and singing. My parents were not finding it funny. Affected. But after I have 3 degrees. So my first grade wasn't so good when I left Abia State University. And then my mom insisted, because of my father, that I had to do a second degree. But I had to do the second degree while I was working in a Tisserand. So it was tough. So after my second degree, I had to do my master's just to try and appease my dad. So my mom, because she was afraid, she wasn't happy with my grade. You know, so I had to do all of those things. And then it was hard trying to get into Nollywood. I started with Dear Mother. I did one film for Christ Embassy called Tony Fishbrain. Is on YouTube. TONNIE Fishbrain. Tony Fishbrain. And then after that, I wasn't paid a dime for that film. And after that, I met Mercy Johnson, who was also in my secondary school. She tried to, help me get into Nollywood. The days of Blackberry Girls, White Gold Sellers, all those old Nollywood films back in the day. It never really worked. I got paid 1K. Got paid 2K.
They paid you 1K, 2K.
Yeah, I was on Tinsel. I was an extra on
That's
Tinsel.
the definition of daily 2K.
Yeah, I was an extra on Tinsel.
Oh, wow.
I played an extra on Tinsel. Gideon helped me get that gig. And then after that, I played Dr. Love. Back in the day, when Tinsel was Dr. Love, that was when I met John Njama. And then John Njama took me under his wing and started mentoring me again for film and stage. He gave me books. All the books that I have on acting, John Njama gave them to me. All the ebooks that I have. John Njama, he's my mentor.
Oh, shout out to John Njama.
Yeah, big shout out to John. I call him my mentor. He's a masquerade. He's such a great guy. And so from there, I just kept acting. I came out, went for Amstel Motor box office. I was in the top 20 because I got recruited. I made it to the top 20 from Lagos. A lot of my people went outside to other states, but I was one of the people who got it here. Me and Brutus, the actor, we made it from Lagos. I think Brutus finished in Lagos, yes. So myself and Brutus finished in Lagos. Barry won that set, but I didn't make it into the house. Kachi was also part of the set, but Kachi made it into the house. So what happened is that the top 20, they give you an envelope. It was AY who was comparing that day. And 12 baskets, I think that was where we did that thing that time, if I remember correctly. Uche Visuals, AD, she's an AD now, the director of Visuals by Uche, was also part of it. She made it into the house at the time, all these guys. So the top 20 guys, they'll give you a tray. if you pick yes, you make it into the house. You pick no, you're out. So it wasn't based on. So they kept
It wasn't
telling
based
us
on performance.
no.
It was
So at
based
that
on
time,
your-
the top 20
it was your luck.
These were the best
Destiny.
people. Yeah, from every state in Lagos, in Nigeria, rather. These were the best actors that were on ground. So if you picked yes, you
Now your
make
destiny. Now you
Yeah.
can decide whether you go forward or
yeah.
not.
So I didn't make it into the house. My boy Kachi, Uche, Bere. I can't remember who else. There were a lot of guys. All of us who were in that set. And then after that, I just kept trying, kept going for auditions. Got a job in a Etisalat. I was on Tinsel set when they called me for the Etisalat interview. Gideon was the one that gave me T-Fare. Gideon Okeke was the one that gave me T-Fare to go for that interview. Yes. He remembers, I tell him every time. And then I went, I got the job, and then acting took a break. I never really took a break, but I had to focus on that part of my life, and then kept going for auditions before I, basically decided. Okay, what's up, everybody? My name is Uzor Arukwe. I'm hanging out with my manager.
Hi everyone, my name is Mr. Mautin, aka Mr. M.
Mr. M. And we're
And
hanging out on Simple TV. All right, let's go.